Hello wine lovers and the wine curious. Just give me 10 minutes of your time today because I am diving into 5 great bottles of wine. We're gonna get into how they taste, what they work well with, and why you should try them at home yourself. This is gonna be your succinct, fun, and informative wine tasting. This is your 10-minute tasting. This is the lineup, the 5 great wines I was talking about, and all of these are actually really great for Father's Day, whether you're buying for your dad, grandfather, or the paternal figure in your life. We're gonna get into each and every single one of these wines. So let's get to it. This is the Shantae Ice Edition. It's a vin Mousseux from France, which is meant to be served on ice. Hence why I have it like such in the glass. This is a wine that is done in a Demi-Sec style, which means it's slightly sweet, and it's made up of an assemblage of different wines selected for their freshness, their brightness, as well as their aromatic presence in the glass. Let's give it a try. This is really giving that aromatic intensity. There's lots of tropical fruit note, pomaceous white appley notes, and a little bit of white peach in there as well. Tons of minerality, white flowers, and citrus. Let's dive into this palate. On the palate, this is just so refreshing, and on ice, you really get that nice brightness and crispness with it, but also some nice minerality in the finish. Now, if you're thinking about this for your dad, I think this is great for a dad that you love to share game days with, doing a bit of cheers. This is a great sparkling for that. But also, this is perfect for someone that likes to make an aperitivo with their dinner. It's great on ice all by itself, and it's like a cocktail as you're getting started. This is the Conundrum Red from California. It is a beautiful production, and while you might think a big, bold red wine like this should be served at room temperature, I have mine with a little bit of a chill on it, and it's perfect. So this is a blend of Zinfandel, Petit Syrah, and Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's made by the man behind Caymus, Charlie Wagner, all done with selected fruits across California, and you really get that expression in the glass. There are beautiful aromas of blackberry, black cherry, and plum, but you also get some wonderful tobacco, cedar, vanilla, toasted, and mocha notes as well. Let's get onto the palate. On the palate, this is a rich and smooth wine with its tannins. You do have some bright acidity in there too, which adds a lot of complexity and makes me think that this is a food wine. This is great for the foodie dad in your life, no matter if he's making grilled meats on the barbecue, beef tacos, jambalaya, or even a bevy of vegetables. This is the perfect wine to have a Father's Day dinner with. This is the Three Finger Jack East Side Cabernet Sauvignon from California. It's a wine and winery that takes its name after Three Finger Jack himself, a desperado who roamed around the Sierra lands east of Sacramento and had a really outlaw nature to him. This is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon wine from Lodi, California. And let's get into the aromatics with this one. There is a lot of earthy black pepper, sarsaparilla notes in here, but you also get some dried prune, little bit of dried blackberry notes, and some black currant too with cedar and vanilla. Let's get on to the palate. On the palate, this wine has really velvety tannins and a really bright acidity, brighter than you might expect for this fuller, bolder style of wine. That's because Lodi, while it is the outlaw winemaking area where the cowboys of wine are, it has a wonderful diurnal shift from day to night. That's what gives this Cabernet Sauvignon its structure. For the person that's perfect for this wine, you want somebody who plays by their own rules. They're here for a wine that has a story behind it and a great glass to enjoy all by itself or with a big, bold meal to pair. This is the Ruffino Chianti DOCG. If you have not seen this bottle on wine store shelves before, you're definitely gonna notice it now. Ruffino has been around for a long time. It started in 1877 by 2 cousins who had a real passion for making Tuscan wines, and they have since developed into icon status of Tuscan winemaking. This Chianti DOCG is a blend of Sangiovese with a touch of Merlot in it as well. So let's dive into the aromas of this wine. There's some beautiful ripe cherry notes in here. You get a little bit of violet and cinnamon in the glass as well. And there's also just a wonderful florality and bright fruit characteristic to it. Let's get onto the palate. On the palate, this wine is a classic Chianti. It has that bitterness to it, that grainy tannins, that brightness of acidity, and that glaze across the palate. This is a wine for someone actually a lot like my dad. And if your dad is similar, I would recommend getting this for him. He loves to make his own pizza dough and try out a bunch of different recipes. And Chianti is a perfect pairing with pizza. So if your dad is like mine, this is a perfect complement to what he might be doing. This is the Duca di Saragnano Alcamia Primitivo from Puglia, Italy. This is a wine with a big story behind it. You know, Primitivo is a very hot grape right now. If you're exploring Italian wines, I'm sure you've come across some Primitivos that you would love to try. It's part of a line of wines from the Barbaniera winery, and it represents the relationship between Luigi Barbaniera and one of his older ancestors that was the last Duke of Saragnano. This is a wine for someone that has those worldly connections. But first, let's get into the glass. There are beautiful aromas in here of dark berry fruit notes, tons and tons of florality. There's almost a seaside vibe to it, but there's this just juicy, fruited notes to this wine for sure. Let's get onto the palate. On the palate, this is a bold and smooth wine, but there is that wonderful Italian bitterness that ends it. This would be great with some really good Italian cheese and perfect for someone that's keeping those global connections, that is amazingly worldly and loves to travel. Always here to be your personal sommelier. This has been your Father's Day 10-minute tasting. Each and every single one of these wines is a great compliment for your dad, grandfather's, or paternal figure's palate this Father's Day, and it's right around the corner too. Whether they are a foodie, more into outdoors, a lover of sports, or worldly, each and every single one of these wines is a great gift that can complement who they are and make an amazing Father's Day happen. You could just look right down below for the links on where to get all of these. And please comment, we'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you would pair with these wines, which ones you liked the most. And I'll be back again to do more of these 10-minute tastings really soon. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers!